All right, Sean Zattel here, my man Jorge Capetillo. Still at lightweight right now, 2-1, and man, had a setback on that Williams Zepeda Lamont Roach card. How have you been feeling since that, and how are you bouncing back from that mentally, everything, physically?
I'm blessed. We got, Pritchard Cologne, who, rest in peace, passed away a few days ago, who was also a prospect and, had that issue in his fight where, he got hit in the back of the head and couldn't continue to fight ever again. So I'm blessed enough to be able to be standing right here talking to you on my own 2 feet and, back in the gym. We're focused, not listening to any of the social media stuff, any of the comments, staying off of it right now. But, I'm super motivated, excited, more focused than ever, bettering as not only as a fighter, but as a person. So, excited for the comeback.
Do you think that's a fight you'll get at some point down the line? Did you even think about that just yet?
Nah, what, with
the rematch, to get a rematch with the...
I really...
Maybe not necessarily right away.
Yeah.
But
in the future, if it's there, if my team thinks we should take it, then for sure. But, it's not something I'm worried about right now. I'm worried about bouncing back, finding whoever, and, keep getting better as my career goes on. I'm still 17 years old, so, I'm in a grown man sport, and, it's part of it. I had to learn that night, and, we're going to learn from my mistake and bounce back.
Upon review and reflection on it, what exactly went wrong? What happened in that fight?
Those last 10 seconds. Those last 10 seconds of the round, in those last 10 seconds, you got to be more awake than ever. You got to have your hands up. And I feel like I stayed there one moment. We both opened up on the hook, put my hand down, and got caught. So it happens. It was it was a man in there that I was against. 31-year-old who already has his grown man strength. So I had to learn from that mistake. I'm not gonna be in that position anymore where I was, and then be more awake in those last 10 seconds.
I know you go back with both fighters, Teofimo and Rolando, in these gyms. Did you ever work with either one? Or
sparring? No.
No.
I got to see Teo this camp. And I've known Teo since a little kid. He looks good. I got to see him spar Emiliano.
Mm-hmm.
2 great fighters with great IQ. So, I think Teo got it. He's been locked in. He's been training hard. And I just think he's a faster and smarter fighter.
Did the sparring with Emiliano, was it encouraging for his chances based on when you were watching it? Like, okay, based on what I'm seeing here, he will perform well.
Yeah, it was a great sparring. They were going, it was back and forth. It's like, it was a chess match, But, Emiliano is the best sparring you get for a fighter like Rolly, Emiliano is taller, he's longer, so I don't know if Rolly is. I think they're the same height, so. But it's just that's the type of sparring you need to get at that level, the great fighters, and I think Emiliano is just a young fighter as well, who's at that top level, and that pushes Teofimo.
It's gonna be tough to. I don't know if I see you answering it, but based on who had the better hand speed, because they're both very fast fighters. Who had just a little bit of an edge in the hand speed department, Emiliano or Teofimo?
I'll give it to Teo. I'll give it to Teo, hand speed, and based on what I saw, but he was.
I'm actually
that
surprised.
That jab is fast. But it's different abilities that the fighters got. Teo, we've known him to be explosive, jumpy fighter. Throw combinations from out of the ordinary. But I think he was the faster hands there.
I'm actually surprised to hear that.
Yeah.
Because I've seen them both ringside.
Honestly, it was like really, really, really close. Like
a negligible.
It's the same thing. Emiliano is super fast. His counters are amazing, and he's got a really sharp jab. So. I'm not saying it was out of the ordinary way more, but I was a little faster. But the Emiliano's a really fast fighter as well. It's like this was almost the same. I'm seeing 2 great fighters go at it. Shooting shots, defending. So.
Yeah, because you've seen special sparring routinely in your father's gym.
Yeah.
In the top range, you had Shakur spar there, Devin Haney spar there. I remember we were both there when you were a kid when Shakur and Emiliano sparred.
Yes.
When Emiliano was like 15, 16. So that one ranked pretty highly.
That one ranked pretty high. Yeah, for sure. That one ranked pretty high. It ranked pretty high for sure, especially because both of them are my friends. Both of them are really close to me. So that one definitely was up there.
And lastly, man, your father is a guy everybody really likes in the sport. What was he like, you know, after the fight, your last fight, and how have you two been? What's the, obviously just to get better, but what's the bounce back look like for both of you and your father?
No, well, at the end of the day, you know, he's my father first, so he was more worried about my health.
Right.
More worried that his son is okay, you know, because, you know, it's tough to see your son go through that. But, you know, I'm always blessed and happy to have him in my corner, because that gives me that confidence that, you know, I'm going to be okay at the end of the day. You know, we were talking the other day, and I told him, like, I chose the sport, Dad, you know. I always prepare mentally before a fight that I could die in there. You know, you could die in the ring. You never know what's going to happen. And I feel like that's why I'm so calm, because I know that anything can happen in this sport. And, you know, I'm standing on my own 2 feet, back training. So, you know, just looking to come back. It's all in the hands of God. And I'm just, me and my dad, we're great. You know, I love him. He loves me. We have the greatest relationship I could, you know, ever have with a father, you know, a father-son. No, he's just motivating me, standing by my side in every way, in every battle that I'm going through, and this comeback. So, you know, I love my dad, and we're gonna be back for sure.
I wish you the best, Dylan. From seeing you from a youngster at 17 and the toughest sport there is. So, you know, my best wishes, my heart are with you and your pops on this journey. So, thanks for the time, man.
Good seeing you.
Thank you.